Good afternoon, everybody. This is Carly Kovacic with the National Weather Service in Peachtree City. This is your weekly weather briefing for the week of August 4th. We'll begin, like usual, by looking at the current conditions. These graphics are all valid around 10 o'clock this morning. Looking at the current temperatures, you can see most areas across north and central Georgia were in the lower 80s. There's a little pocket of upper 70s across northeastern Georgia, and you can see that that's associated with some cloud cover shown on the right. In addition, there was a complex of showers that moved across this area around daybreak this morning, so that's why that area is a little bit cooler than the rest of us. Taking a look at satellite, top image shows the visible satellite image. You can see some cloud cover across eastern Georgia. That's associated with some easterly flow that's working its way down the mountains. And below that is the water vapor image. And the little darker area that extends across northern Alabama into central and eastern Tennessee is essentially an area of low pressure that may spawn a few showers before another complex back in western Tennessee makes its way across the area this afternoon. Speaking of which, looking at radar, you can see that complex of thunderstorms and showers across western Tennessee. Again, it is possible that that may move into our area later this afternoon. In addition, you can see some activity across upstate South Carolina. This is essentially associated with what moved across the eastern portion of the area around daybreak this morning. You can see from the cloud cover in particular that there is some convection across the northern Gulf of Mexico. That does have a tendency to rob us of some moisture, but it's not really extensive, so it may not be a huge factor in our rain chances later this afternoon, but it's certainly something that we're going to watch. With all that being said, we are going to carry about a 50 to 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms across the entire area through today. The image on the right shows a simulated radar reflectivity image from a high-resolution model valid around 4 o'clock this afternoon. So you can see essentially the whole area could see a couple pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Looking for the best chance to be this afternoon going into the evening. Some of the storms could be strong, with the main threats being winds up to about 50 miles an hour, frequent lightning, and actually of more concern today is heavy rainfall potential and minor flooding. The winds up through the entire atmospheric column today are going to be pretty light, so looking at storm movement to be pretty slow. So any storms that do move over your location do have the potential to put down some hefty rainfall totals. Friday looks pretty similar to today. High temperatures going to be continued hot, mainly in the lower to middle 90s across the area. As far as rainfall chances, I think the highest chances are going to stay across central Georgia tomorrow, but really anybody can see a pop-up afternoon shower or thunderstorm. But we're going to go ahead and keep the highest chances across central Georgia for now. Again, some of these storms could be strong, particularly in the late afternoon going into the early evening. If you have outdoor plans this weekend, it looks like Saturday is going to be the drier of the 2 days. Rain chances going to be mainly in the afternoon into the evening. Again, typical summertime pattern here. Looking at about a 20 to 30% chance across the majority of the area. Northwest Georgia could be 40 to 50%, and central Georgia 40%. So maybe some higher coverage in those areas. Sunday, overall, looking at a 30 to 40% chance, 50% across far north Georgia and up in the mountains. Mainly in the afternoon and evening again. High temperatures going to range from the low to mid 90s on both days, minus the mountains where upper 80s look more reasonable. This slide is really here for you to just peruse whatever area is closest to your location, what the 7-day forecast is going to be. So in a nutshell, you're looking at low to mid 90s for high temperatures through about Sunday, with about a 40 to 50% chance, except on Saturday where we have maybe some slightly lower rain chances. And then next week looking at high temperatures across most of the area in the upper 80s with continued about 40, 50, maybe 60% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. You can clearly see that the drought is not getting any better, particularly across North Georgia, where most areas are in a severe to extreme drought, and even across Central Georgia, looking at anywhere from abnormally dry to severe around towards the Macon area. So it's going to take a really widespread rainfall event or a tropical system to really start cutting some of this drought out. So not looking like this is going to change anytime soon, unfortunately. Speaking of tropical systems, we do have Tropical Storm Earl that has made landfall across the Yucatan Peninsula, and it does look like it's going to weaken into a tropical depression by tonight or early Friday as it continues moving westward over land. Other than Earl, there's really not much to talk about in the tropics in the Atlantic, Caribbean, or the Gulf, and no activity is expected over the next 5 days at least. In summary, you can expect scattered showers and thunderstorms today, some of which may be strong, particularly this afternoon into early evening. Main threats are going to be wind gusts up to about 50 miles an hour, frequent lightning, and particularly heavy rainfall today. The chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms is really going to continue over the next 7 days. Right now, Saturday looks like possibly the driest day. So we're in that typical summertime pattern with your storm coverage increasing, peaking in the afternoon, and continuing into the evening. Overall, temperatures are going to be in the lower to mid 90s, and we may see those upper 80s by next week, or at least we can cross our fingers. As for the drought, it remains in place and largely unchanged. We'll probably be showing the same graphic next week. Tropical Storm Earl is expected to continue westward over land and further weaken into a tropical depression by Friday morning, and no additional tropical activity or development is expected over the next 5 days. So that's going to conclude this week's weather briefing. We'll do this again next Thursday around mid to late morning and have it up online by early afternoon. So everybody have a great weekend and continue to stay cool.